And he just went on to produce Michael Jackson. And when he produced Michael Jackson, one of the stories I remember when I was playing Quincy Jones on the radio at Magic 108 was he was asked by Michael Jackson to remove Don't Stop Till You Get Enough introduction. The introduction to Don't Stop Till You Get Enough with the strings in there. And you were humming that when I told you that story, Mac Beats. And if you're not sure about the strings on Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, just turn on the song and listen to the beginning of it. You'll hear you hear the violins in the beginning of it. Michael Jackson said, "Can you take that off, Quincy?"
I couldn't imagine that song without the violins in the beginning.
Right.
That's
And
magic.
Quincy said, "Hell no, I ain't taking that off." And then he went on and said, "You don't tell me what to do."
Two, one. Southern Soul EZP. And we're on the perfect channel to talk about this, because this man has made all types of strides in music and is peerless in music. Peerless. Starting out very early in music and has went on to color the whole world in his image musically. You know him as Quincy Jones, and sadly he has passed away. He has had some of the greatest hits and been with everybody doing everything that's good with music you could imagine. So, you know, we got to talk about how the music impacted you, EZP, and everybody else in Southern Soul. But we're going to start with EZP.
Well, man, I appreciate you introducing me so well and so profoundly on this day, this musical day where we've lost one of our heroes in music, Southern Soul music, and American music. Mr. Quincy Jones is no longer with us. Of course, in recent memory, for our younger viewers, Quincy Jones produced Michael Jackson, among other stars in the pop realm, and he came into prominence in the 50s. That would be literally 60 plus years ago, where he came into prominence as a band leader and a producer that worked with Frank Sinatra, worked with Tommy Dorsey, worked with Count Basie, worked with many musicians that are renowned in the music business. Then he ultimately got off into TV producing and produced Will Smith, executive produced Will Smith in his first TV show, created by industry icon Benny Medina. And he just went on to produce Michael Jackson. And when he produced Michael Jackson, one of the stories I remember when I was playing Quincy Jones on the radio at Magic 108 was he was asked by Michael Jackson to remove Don't Stop Till You Get Enough introduction. The introduction to Don't Stop Till You Get Enough with the strings in there. And you were humming that when I told you that story, Mac Beats. And if you're not sure about the strings on Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, just turn on the song and listen to the beginning of it. You'll hear the violins in the beginning of it. Michael Jackson said, "Can you take that off, Quincy?"
I couldn't imagine that song without the violins in the beginning.
Right.
That's
And
magic.
Quincy said, "Hell no, I ain't taking that off." And then he went on and said, "You don't tell me what to do." That is the signature side musically of the song.
I mean, that's truly a remarkable song, and I'm glad that he said no, because those violins are magic.
creates the full timbre of the song. It creates an atmosphere for the song. And so it just shows you when somebody first hears something that an artist produced, they may not like it right away. And that goes in many different situations, conditions, and circumstances, things that we think about as common that everybody naturally likes is not necessarily the case.
Right.
Producer
a lot of times
has a different vision on it.
Yeah. A lot of times the artist and the producer have to really trust each other with their ears and their common goal for really what they're doing.
Yeah, and so talking further about his TV situation, which most of our viewers are going to remember, with Prince of Bel-Air, right, with Will Smith. He signed a 10-year picture deal with Warner Brothers and a 2-series deal with NBC Productions. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, which aired from 1995 to 1999. And he went through some hoops to really get that through. And so he was instrumental in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air with Will Smith. And many of our viewers and our listeners don't know that he was impactful in TV production too, man.
Imagine Will Smith, the legend, without that TV show. It's hard to picture because that springboarded him into everything else.
It really did. It really did.
First, it was the music. Then he got into TV.
And
can you imagine that?
I can't imagine that I can't imagine Will Smith catapulting into the movie star that he is today without that acting experience that he received on that TV show. It's kind of even hard to fathom, just like you said. So he was beloved. Quincy Jones was beloved musically, even more so. He was very instrumental with Ray Charles when they were both in Seattle, Washington. And so he was a dynamic trumpet player. Many people don't realize that he played trumpet. And he was an excellent trumpet player. And then he was good at writing music. Many musicians today can hear music in their ears only, but he was one of those guys where he could write music down on paper. He could chart it out note for note.
Yeah, that's him. That's something special. We really lost somebody.
That special is very difficult to actually do. And then Quincy Jones also produced "We Are the World." That was an anthem for the time, with many artists on it to combat hunger in the 90s, right, man?
Yeah, that was where he got everybody together to combine and jump back in and really get people to give. And when people bought the record, it went to charity.
Quincy Jones also did some activism, and he was instrumental in the African American civil rights movement, and he was very supportive of Martin Luther King during his time. Consequently, Quincy Jones, man, lived to be 91, which is really good.
Really, a full life full of music.
And many of you probably are thinking, well, how does this affect Southern Soul? How does Quincy Jones affect Southern Soul?
Most people know you can't have Southern Soul the way it is right now without his influence.
Yeah, I'd like for you to talk on that a little bit about how the music business was affected by his production.
His production was the product of another genre altogether. Guess what? Jazz. Okay. Oh, nobody knows that jazz is actually one of the most difficult genres to play, difficult to learn. and difficult, period. And because of that, the simplicity of other genres like pop, hip hop, soul, it makes it easy for jazz people to play all of these different genres and producing these genres and sell it.
Interesting. Now, for those of you who wondered about his personal life, he was married 3 times. He had 7 children with 5 different women, and he was always busy in the music business producing artists. And if you go on Google and you just type in Quincy Jones, you'll see all these artists that he worked with, and it's amazing and remarkable that he worked with all these different artists spanning from the early 50s to 2022, 23. He was working all that time. That is amazing. And so he didn't really have a lot of family time, and it really makes for a different lifestyle when you are working like that. He was making a whole lot of money too, but money is not everything when it comes to music. Music is more important than everything. And so I just want to take my hat off to him, because he did a very, very, very good deal for music, for the music business, and we really will miss his expertise. Now, on the other hand, there's some things that people question about that he did, but we don't really focus on that in sinfluenceonmodernpopstars.com. We like to think about the good things, the great things that he did, but there are some other stuff out there, and when you look and see that other stuff, you have to remember there was other stuff about Martin Luther King too. There was other stuff about Michael Jackson too. There's other stuff about Prince too. So when a person's really not here to defend themselves, it's not fair, is it?
Not at all.
So check out some Quincy Jones, and I do want to remind my Louisiana people that we've got a storm coming up called Rafael, headed toward the Gulf at this time. And I'm sure you're seeing this video. We're doing it on voting night, so everybody voted today. We're gonna see the results of the voting process here in America, and whichever way it goes, it's gonna go in accordance to the way it goes, the electors. And we are hoping that your agenda gets addressed in this election. And that's the most important thing, your agenda. What's most important to you? We've been preaching that for quite some time, MacBees. Southern Soul, EZP, sinfluenceonmodernpopstars.com. EZP with you as we say so long to Quincy Jones and his impact in the music business, spanning 60 decades, long time, producing Michael Jackson, just reminiscing the opportunities we had to see some of the interviews with Quincy Jones, and his impact on Southern soul music has been profound as well. He has impacted Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson has impacted Southern soul music. Even from Gary, Indiana, way up north, he impacted our genre of music. If you're getting some value from this video, be sure and like, share, subscribe, comment. Tell us your thoughts and your feelings. We'd like to know where you're coming from so that we can better serve the Southern Soul community. We just finished with the election, 2024. We voted for the President of the United States, the 47th President. As of this recording is Donald Trump. He was the 45th President as well. I want to give a special shout out to so-called black men who showed up at the polls and showed out. They voted in record numbers this time around. Did your candidate win? Did your candidate lose? Okay, as you see, your candidate, if you lost, nobody cares if you lost. Nobody cares if you won. Voting is quid pro quo, Southern Soul family. Southern Soul family. When you vote, you get something. You're supposed to get something for the vote. Did your candidate give you something? Did you have the possibility of lining up something, maybe to get the record played, maybe to get the tour financed, maybe to get your record produced? But are you thinking big enough to do that? You should be doing that, Southern Soul family. You should be thinking big to get your Southern Soul music out to the masses and eventually out to the world. Well, if your candidate won, congratulations. If your candidate lost, congratulations. Because the Southern Soul Party is the next party that should direct the music industry. Clean up the music industry. The music industry needs your help, Southern Soul. They've got a lot of stuff going on with children. They have a lot of stuff going on that's unbecoming. Keep people at bay when they try to get record deals. That's not good, Southern Soul family. We have the opportunity in this new genre to start anew, to chart anew, so that we can reinvent the music business to our liking. Family-oriented, fun, soul, blues music. Good time music that makes you party. Southern Soul, Zydeco, Juke Joint, all of that good soul music just makes you want to dance. Makes you want to dance just sitting up here, thinking about it. Okay, remember, Southern Soul, if you won or you lost, we don't have friends. If you lost, you understand you don't have any friends. If you won with the lesser of two evils. And remember, Southern Soul family, moral people don't vote for evil at all. Moral people don't subscribe to evil. So this is the time to create a Southern Soul Coalition, a Southern Soul Party. The Southern Soul agenda has to be subscribed to in 2024 and beyond. Okay, the Southern Soul Coalition. Shop with one another. Don't backbite with one another. Don't hate on one another. Give. Support. Don't be jealous. Don't be envious. Support. Stay positive. Stay out of the low frequency, negative vibration, Southern Soul family. Build relationships. Remember, the Southern Soul group has no friends. The Southern Soul group only has an agenda. Like, share, subscribe, comment if you benefited from this video. I want to remind you about the Southern Soul House Party, Monday, Atlanta time, 7 p.m., featuring the outstanding OC Soul, leader of Atlanta's show band, Soul Patrol, every Monday. And don't forget to share on the Housework Blues Show on magic108fm.com. One final note before we go. I was looking at the Washington Post, Southern Soul family. The Washington Post has already mentioned and started talk, listen to this, about impeachment of our 47th president-elect, Donald Trump. Impeachment proceedings are in the mouths of the opponents already. So that makes some of you happy, some of you going, wow, sad.
Yeah. So with that being said, click your agenda for that like button. Put your agenda in the comments if you want to talk about it. Subscribe. We're going to talk more about it. And we definitely going to cover the results of this election because it's about to go down. No matter who won, it's about to go down.
It's about to go
We
down.
out.
See y'all on the radio.